The most persuasive people you know are not smarter than you. They are not more confident. They are just quietly triggering a few automatic responses in your brain, responses that were wired in long before you could talk. And by the end, you will understand exactly why. Think about the last time someone asked you for a favor, and you said yes, even though part of you didn't want to. Or a time you bought something you didn't need because the salesperson was just so warm, so generous. You felt pulled, almost like you didn't have a choice. That pull has a name, it has a mechanism, and once you understand it, you can use it, or at least stop being used by it. Psychologist Robert Cialdini spent years going undercover, working as a car salesman, a fundraiser, a waiter, just to figure out what actually makes people say yes. His book, Influence, became one of the most cited works in behavioral science. What he found wasn't about being slicker or louder, it was about triggers your brain can barely resist. Here's what's actually happening in your brain when you get persuaded. There are 3 specific psychological triggers that work on almost everyone, not because people are weak or naive, because we're human. These responses evolved to help us survive in social groups. They run deeper than logic, deeper than preference, deeper than willpower. Once you know what they are, you will start seeing them everywhere. Trick 1 is reciprocity, and this one is ancient. When someone gives you something, anything, even just a compliment or a moment of genuine attention, your brain logs a debt, a real, felt obligation to give something back. Anthropologists have found this in every human society ever studied. We are wired from birth to balance the scales. Give and take isn't just a saying, it's a survival mechanism your brain still runs every single day. In 1971, Cornell University researcher Dennis Reagan ran a study where participants were far more likely to buy raffle tickets from a stranger who had earlier bought them a small Coca-Cola without being asked, without any connection to the tickets at all. In some conditions, the compliance rate more than doubled. The gift didn't have to be big, it didn't even have to be relevant, it just had to exist. Cialdini described reciprocity as one of the most powerful forces in human social life, universal across every culture ever studied, and you feel it in tiny ways every single day. Someone holds a door, you rush to catch it, even for a stranger you will never see again. That's not just politeness, that's ancient wiring running the show. But here's the part that gets uncomfortable. The gift doesn't have to be wanted. Research shows uninvited gifts trigger reciprocity almost as strongly as invited ones. Your brain doesn't stop to ask whether you wanted the favor, it just feels the debt. And that feeling is very hard to shake. But here's what most people get wrong about persuasion. They obsess over the ask, the wording, the timing, the confidence in their voice. They think persuasion is a moment, but Cialdini's research shows the real persuasion happens before you ever open your mouth. Before the moment of asking even arrives, the outcome is often already decided. Trick 2 is commitment and consistency, and this one exploits something your brain genuinely hates: being inconsistent with your own self-image. Once you have said yes to something small, your brain updates its internal story about who you are, and then it works hard to protect that story, because inconsistency feels wrong. It feels like a betrayal of yourself, and your brain will do a lot to avoid that feeling. In 1966, psychologists Jonathan Friedman and Scott Fraser published a landmark study on what they called the foot in the door technique. They asked homeowners to display a small, safe driving sign in their window, just a small, tasteful sign. Weeks later, they asked those same homeowners to allow a large, ugly billboard in their front yard. The people who had agreed to the small sign said yes to the billboard at nearly 4 times the rate of people who hadn't. 4 times for a billboard. That's the power of the small yes. It's not about momentum or enthusiasm, it's about identity. When you say yes to something small, you become, in your own mind, someone who says yes to that kind of thing. And your brain will fight to stay consistent with that version of you. That's point 2. And point 3 is even stranger. B.J. Fogg at Stanford, who founded the Behavior Design Lab, has spent decades studying exactly this connection between identity and action. His core insight: the most durable behavior changes happen when people shift how they see themselves, not just what they do. The foot in the door technique isn't just about getting a small yes. It's about quietly making someone into a person who says yes to that kind of thing. And that's what makes trick 3 so effective. If this is making you think about your own patterns around giving, asking, the way you respond to people, Mind Valley has a course specifically on this that goes way deeper than I can in one video. Link below. Now, trick 3. Trick 3 is labeling. And this one is almost unfair once you see how well it works. Instead of asking someone to do something, you first describe who they are. You seem like someone who genuinely cares about this. I can tell you're the kind of person who follows through. You're not flattering them, you're handing them an identity. And then their own consistency drive does the rest of the work without any more pushing from you. A 2011 study published in PNAS by researcher Christopher Bryan and colleagues found that using identity-based language, saying be a voter rather than go vote, significantly increased actual voter turnout. Not because the words were more motivating, because they framed the action as a reflection of identity rather than a task to complete. The difference is everything. You're not asking someone to do something, you're reminding them of who they already are. Here's how you put all 3 together. Start by giving something genuine, real information, a thoughtful compliment, honest attention. That activates reciprocity. Then ask for something small first, something with a very low bar to say yes to. That starts the commitment loop. Then before your real ask, label the identity. Something like, you are someone who really cares about this. And then make the ask. By the time you get there, their brain has already been doing the work for you. And here's what I want you to sit with. These techniques work on you every single day. Every ad, every charismatic person in your life, every salesperson you've ever met. Most of them are using at least one of these triggers, often without even knowing it consciously. Knowing the pattern doesn't make you immune, but it gives you a pause, a split second to ask, is this my actual choice, or is this my brain on autopilot? Mind Valley has a course specifically on this that goes way deeper than I can in one video. Link below. Link is in the description. Remember that cold open? I said the most persuasive people aren't smarter or more confident, they're just triggering automatic responses. Now you know which ones. Reciprocity, the ancient debt your brain logs every time it receives something. Commitment, the identity loop that makes small yeses lead to bigger ones. And labeling, the quiet art of reflecting someone's best self back at them before you ask. These are not tricks for manipulating people. They're maps of how human connection actually works. Use them to give more genuinely, ask more honestly, understand more deeply. If you found this useful, the video on body language goes deeper into the nonverbal signals that shift trust before you say a single word. Subscribe if you want to understand your own mind a little better. See you in the next one.